Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. My friends and family, team and fans from around the entire globe, I hope you're doing absolutely terrific. This is a very special day here at Real Life Trading because this is the first day of the open house. And I apologize for the slightly grainy video. I do have a webcam that for some reason in the last 10 minutes, decided not to work. But the profit light is on. Don't know if you guys can see that, but here's the goal. If that light is shining, that means it was a profitable day at Real Life Trading and we are green. If it's not shining, it's because I can't afford electricity that day because we lost money. But today was an amazing, unbelievable day in the market. Really, the last week has been absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. So we're here to talk about it and just share all the greatness that's happening at both Real Life Trading, but also just traders from all around the world and why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and what we're doing it on. So let's dive in and just kind of talk through some stats and share some stories and just, talk through all of it. Because again, I'm really, really excited and amped up today. What I'm going to do is start off with the broader market. So the broader market, of course, being the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. And we have a very nice hammer. Now, the cool part is that actually is a real hammer. This lower shadow really did come in and we did drop very, very quickly, randomly. I did sell a lot of positions this morning. So I locked in a really, really solid amount of wins right there. Not exaggerating. And we did have a massive drop after that. So it was just one of those exuberant times that I could literally go through the chat pane. And every time I was scrolling, more and more and more people were profitable. It was honestly a little bit ridiculous. Everybody was making money hands over fist. And I was like, this is too easy. So usually when it's too easy, it's a good time to at least lock in some profits. But yeah, sold some positions off, locked in some gains, and it was rightfully so. But here's the beautiful part. We still closed with an absolutely ridiculously perfect hammer. Ladies and gentlemen, we might keep going. Oh my gosh. We might just keep doing this thing. This party might continue. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Amazing. So I have my list of stocks we're going to go through over here, but it is a pretty hammer and we did get some good buying pressure. So for now, the party bus is still rolling. Type a 9 into the chat pane if you can see why we retested today. And I will draw an arrow on the screen, but just in case you need it, there it is right there. White candle gapping up. My friends, what type of gap is that? That is indeed a retest gap, type of 1 if we retested. Yeah, we retested. So we retested the retest gap. We filled the retest gap. The bullish trend held strong and we continued the bull trend. So if you are still in bull swing trades, congratulations. I will be covering a lot of stocks that we've been looking at and talking about and reviewing. And I do have a lot of stocks we're going to look at tomorrow. So really quite excited to see what's going on. Here's the Qs. And the Qs also really, really interesting candle. Now, keep in mind, I want to just throw this out there. I want to just throw this out so that we all are aware of it. If the market closes below this lower shadow between now and February, we're going to get some strong selling. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying if we do. If we close below this lower shadow, we are going to get some serious selling. Now, serious meaning from where we are to where I really want it to be, I think 7% would be amazing. That's about the 50 EMA. And the 50 EMA would be a phenomenal place to buy. I'm still very bullish long term. And I absolutely expect the markets to go higher, a lot higher. But I just think that a pullback is imminent. I don't know if it's going to happen between now and March or now in April. But what I can say is this current market is feeling a lot like January 2020 and February 2020. Type in a 6 into the chat pane if you were not trading with RLT over there. Before I do, let me read Jennifer's comment. Jennifer says, Jeremy, bro, I'm in Teladoc 250 January 2022 leaps at 25. Still in, but so far the most profitable single trade I've made. Thank you for all you do. My pleasure. My pleasure. I think that's Jeff, not Jennifer Creighton, but either way, Mr. or Mrs. Creighton, you're welcome. You took the trade. I mean, I also took that trade, but you also took the trade and you held, and I'm extremely proud of you. Congratulations. Teladoc has been a very, very profitable trade for a lot of people. So well done for all those who took it. This is January through February of last year. Now, when I say last year, I know that 2020 didn't actually exist, but it feels like it did. And before COVID happened, a lot of real life traders locked in profits in January and in February because we were just we were destroying it. Destroying the market. People were making like 13, 14% every week for 2 months. And we did go into some cash, not all cash, but we did go into cash before the decent drop in March. And I bought some dips and then I got stopped out of those dips. So I bought dips and then like 3-4 days later, I got stopped out of those dips. And it was interesting. I was like, okay, well, I guess this is something's happening here. So I'm not going to go through all that. What I'm simply saying is I feel like there's some very, very similar principles as in here. Now, please hear me. I'm not saying we're about to have a 30% drop. I'm not. What I am saying is we will have a drop and it will be pretty quick and there will be some red days, but there should be no reason for you to blow out your account during that drop. There should be no reason to panic during that drop. There should be no reason to do anything stupid. And you simply are going to have some red days. Your account's going to have some drawdown. It's going to have some pullbacks in your P&L. Let that embrace, right? Do what you need to do. I shared a trading account with my mentorship group today, and I'll share that with you guys as well, just so you know that I'm doing it. But here's the mentorship group. We started trading not too long ago. I won't show the exact image, but this particular image in my mentorship group was started early September when I went to cash, and it was $479,000. And today it's $602,000 20 days later. So 479, 602, 20 days later, right? Really, really cool trades, awesome gains, really, really nice stuff. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because we can see that we have been going straight up, okay, more or less. So let's be serious. If this happens, will the market, will my P&L, will that particular account go from, I don't know, 60, whatever, 603? Would it go down to like, I don't know, 550? What do you guys think? Type in a 1 if you think that's most likely going to happen, or a yes or whatever. So it will, right? It would have the pullback. I would lose, right? The P&L would decline in value. I'd be able to take some positions, buy some dips, blah, 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 whatever. And then over here, do you think that 550 will have grown to about 750? What do you guys think? Maybe, right? Maybe, potentially, possibly, but that's kind of what you got to expect when you trade. All right. That's the approach. That's the goal. That's the thought process. And you have to be aware that that will happen in your trading. It doesn't matter how good you are. I personally have never been good enough to go, all right, here's the top, never get in again. And then, oh, here's the bottom, buy all of it and then just hold. And then, oh, there's the perfect top. Let me get out. No one does that. No one. I don't care how long you've been trading. No one does that. Except for the one time that we did it. But that's that was total luck. Okay. That was very, very lucky to go into cash on that day and then rebuy a bunch of trades over here. That was absolutely luck. But the next one is not going to happen. Okay. The next one, we're going to miss it by days or weeks or whatever. So long story short, type in a 19 into the chat pane if you're extremely ready to go through this list of stocks that I have, look at some swing trades, talk about the future, set up some greatness, and of course, enrich lives together. All right, here we go. First stock that was requested by your peers was ticker symbol NNDM. Nancy, David, Michael. Nano Dimension, whatever that means. That sounds like a Stephen Hawking's book that Thomas Wong would read. So Nano Dimension, this was the analysis that I did on January 13th. I did not take this trade, but the analysis was pretty simple. Type a 6 into the chat pane if that's an obvious breakout. Right, obvious breakout. Okay, so here at Real Life Trading, do we play breakouts if it's a white candle breaking out? Right, bull candle breaking out with a bull candle. Do we just buy it up there? No. Nope, because you guys are smarter. You know candlestick sentiment. You know how to play pullbacks. You know how to buy dips. You're calm, cool, collected. No one here chases. No one chases. We've been through the classes. We understand the analysis. So what we do is we went, oh, wow, look at all this resistance right here. Look how nice this candle is. Maybe I should buy the pullback. Serenity says, are these stocks for option trading as well? I will let you make that call, Serenity. That is up to you, my dear friend, if you want to trade options or stocks. All right, so the very next day on this particular company, here's what happened. Is that a pullback of 50%? Yes or no? All right. Did that retest the old resistance? Yes or no? Does it have big bear volume? Yes or no? All those questions are yes. So if it breaks above this candle and you are not in, should you get in? Yes, absolutely. Now, should you already be in some when that pullback happens? Yes. Right? Did I get into this trade? Well, no, I just told you guys earlier that I didn't get into it, right? I can't be in everything. This was just a random stock that I analyzed last week sometime. So I did not take this trade. I could have. I mean, I can trade anything, but I didn't take this particular stock. So when the trade comes in, you have a perfect candle, great volume, great location, good pullback. And then you have a bear candle gapping up into a bear candle. My mentorship group knows all about that pattern. So again, you're in the trade bullish, and then you're definitely in the trade bullish, and then you're definitely in the trade bullish, and then you're absolutely in the trade. Oh, and you're all excited. Okay. Boom. So anyway, that was the analysis that I did back on January 13th for whoever played that. If you play that, congratulations. You're up bigly from $10 a share to $16 a share. No big deal. And we did trade to a target. The target was the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart, AKA the red line on the screen. So well done for anyone in that one. Next on the list is the Microsoft. So guys, riddle me this. Type in a 3 into the chat pane if Microsoft is a blue chip stock that's not going to zero. I have a trader who's asking a question. That trader says, how do you determine a gap and go is better for a day trade or swing trade? Neither. You don't make that determination. You make the determination, are you going to day trade it or swing trade it? That's really it. If you don't day trade at all, then you probably are going to swing trade all the gaps, right? That makes sense. So you can do both. I've done both all the time. I've day traded them. I've swing traded them. Swing trading is easier. Day trading is just more complex and faster. All right. So everyone's typing in a 3 because the question was, is Microsoft a blue chip stock? Serenity says, do you usually trade known stocks like Apple and AMD? That is correct. So Microsoft, really strong blue chip stock, very strong company. Is this company going to go to zero in the next 4 years? No. Right? You should all be able to answer that question. Absolutely not. No chance. Right? Not in the next 4 years. So that means that you have a risk profile that's relatively easy. Weekly chart is a one white soldier. Today's candle is an inside candle. Earnings on Microsoft are right around the corner. One of two things will happen on Microsoft, and it'll be very, very easy. Either we gap up, and after we gap up, we're going to be at an all-time high. So since Microsoft's a blue chip stock and we gap up to an all-time high, will you most likely get some selling? Yep, of course, right? We all know how this stuff works. It's very easy. So some selling will come in, we'll end up bouncing, and then we're going to go higher. If Microsoft gaps down, it'll get bought up and then go higher eventually. And those are the two things to expect on Microsoft. Right now, the trend's bullish, the chart's bullish, the patterns are bullish, the candles are bullish, the volume's bullish, the company's bullish, the fundamentals are bullish, everything's bullish. Be bullish long term. That's Microsoft. Next on the list is Nvidia. Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. Yeah. Look at this hammer off of the 200 simple moving average. Wow. Have you guys ever been through a free program that taught you how to trade hammers before? Has anyone here ever taken that class? I'm trying to remember what that class was. Shoot. I feel like it would be so helpful if I had a class I could go take that would just teach me how to trade hammers for free. So anyway, there it is. There's the hammer. It's the easiest thing I've ever seen. Everyone here knows exactly how to play that. So if you're looking at playing it, you all know how, and it's Nvidia. Again, great company. Longer term will continue higher. I know a lot of traders that have some option trades on Nvidia. So I know some of you don't know options, but I do know a program that will teach you how to trade options for free. So there's no excuse. But I know a lot of traders that have put sales and bull put spreads on Nvidia down there at that support. I know a lot of people in shares of Nvidia. I know a lot of people in call options on Nvidia. I don't have any particular position on Nvidia right now, but I do love it long term. It looks very, very strong, and long is strong on Nvidia. Long is strong. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart's an inside hammer. It's compressing, it's coiling, it's consolidating. It looks good. It looks real good. I'm glad all of you guys know how to trade hammers. And seriously, just in case there are some people here who don't, go to a company called reallifetrading.com and click on this green icon that says beginner trading. And it is, again, zero cost to you as far as monetary concerns. And go take it and start watching it. It's a fantastic class. I think you'll like it a lot. I do have a premium class starting tonight. If you are an options trader or you want to be an options trader, or you have an account over $100,000, you must take this program. Starts tonight. So hedging with options, January 25th. Please be in there. If you have over $100,000, it's worth it. I promise. I mean, it's worth it regardless of how much money you have, but if you have over 100,000, it's a no-brainer. Okay. So small little harmless sales pitch. All right. Nvidia, nice hammer. Let's keep going. Next on the list is PIN. Now, PIN National Gaming, my friends, is on absolute fire. Absolute fire. This thing is crushing. Speaking of hammers, if we go back in time, this is November 11th, right? November 11th. Please type a 6 into the chat pane if that is the best hammer you've ever seen in your life. Oh, man. That is a straight up 6. 6. That's it. Gabe Marlette typing in a 6. Whew. Jonathan Wade says bear followed by a hammer. Clean. Clean on the inside, clean on the outside. That is so pretty. And then, are you triggered in bullish? Yes or no? Now, some of you say, what about moving averages? You don't have to have moving averages to take that trade. Look at that. I mean, that is so easy. And guys, that was at $63 a share. $63. $63. Could you have bought 100 shares of PIN at $63 with a stop at $58, risked $500, and absolutely murdered that position? Could you have done that? Of course you could have, right? Is trading that easy? Yeah. Have an entry, have a stop, have a target, have a plan, execute it. Entry, stop, target, plan, execute. Have risk, execute. Have plan, execute. Have an entry, execute. So it is beautiful, beautiful candle. Really, really nice move. Great hammer. And obviously since then, all it's done is just go higher. I mean, this thing has just been absolutely crushing. So again, if you had 100 shares, you're up over $4,000, which is amazing. And right now, all we're doing is pulling back. So if you're looking at buying the dip on Penn National, I would say probably down here around 90 would be a really, really comfortable pullback. Keep in mind the earnings are around the corner. The trend is bullish. We actually do have a real life trader. I don't see his name in the panelists right now, but he bought Penn down here at $4 a share. Almost the exact low, 25 cents from the low. How cool is that? How cool is that? He still has them. Now, full disclosure, he bought 5 shares, I believe. 5 shares. But still, how amazing is that? That's cool. Because again, that particular trader is also under 25. He also has only been trading for a few months. Do you think that gave him confidence that he knows what he's doing, that the stock market's not rigged, that anyone can do this? Yeah, absolutely. Greg says, I got my girlfriend 2 shares of NEO at $2.66. Hey, man, again, it adds up. A lot of times when we trade, it just has to be a confidence builder. Sometimes it has to be a confidence approach on what we're doing and how we're doing it. Mike says, is Penn a double top? No, sir, not yet. No, I wouldn't say so. Right now, still very healthy. The trend looks good. You have a very good gap and go over here on the 20th of January. So yeah, man, buy the dip is still in full force on Penn. Still looks nice. Next on the, I think we're about to have a setup. I think we're about to have a setup on Snowflake. Yeah. Yes, we are. Sammy says, I sees it. I sees it. All right. Well, very nice hammer. The other thing I like about this one that's different, what's different about this stock relative to the last 5 that we looked at? What do you guys think? I'll give you an internet high five for the first person who kind of reads my mind. Mike, you're close. JS, you're close. David's close. Most of you, Andreas says it's out of support. John really has the best answer. He goes, it's not at an all-time high. Yeah, pretty much, right? All the other ones we're looking at have just been absolutely screaming. So it's not really specifically at a massive resistance, AKA it has some room to move, AKA it's already had a little bit of a pullback. And by a little bit of a pullback, I mean, it's pulled back 30% since December. So yes, it is trading a little bit sideways. And again, obviously this trade might not work. I can draw a downtrend line that looks like that, but that's why I want to get in if it breaks higher. Does it have to break higher, ladies and gentlemen? Not at all. If it does break higher, do we have to win on the trade? I wish. I wish that's all it took. But there's the setup. That'll be an official swing trade that I'm going to be posting in Slack. I'll also put it in the chat pane there in case you guys need it. All right. New official swing trade on snow. Entry 298.04. Stop loss equals 275.20. All right. Pop that in here. This is also our official trade journal, which all of you who subscribe have access to this. If you want to know where you have access to it, if you subscribe to RLT, there's this little green icon that says official trade journal. You can click on that if you are a subscriber and you can receive access to it. We update it on a regular basis. My boy Patrick Sullivan says, would you do this with a leap? So good question, Patrick. What is the trend on snow? Is it up, down, or sideways? Patrick says sideways. That is correct. So should you buy a directional instrument on a non-directional trade? 275.20. There we go. So personally for me, I'll do shares on this one because it's going sideways. And I know you're really asking the question for other people. So I appreciate you doing that and being so kind. That's very, very kind of you for asking for other people. But yes, I would do shares with it, or you could do a non-directional setup like a put sale or a bull put spread, or owning some shares and doing a covered call. I wouldn't get into a call option yet on Snowflake, at least not a leap, right, Patrick? You could get into a shorter term option and just kind of play that move. But as far as a leap, I wouldn't necessarily have to pay for that much time for a leap because it's still going sideways. Yeah, great question, man. Because that question that you asked, even though you knew the answer, that question helped out like 257 traders. So thanks for asking, man. All right. Amy says 258 because it helped her. I love it. I love it. All right, team. Next on the list is Walmart. Okay. Walmart. TB says, I'm new to the stock market. Are there any free sites to practice without real money? I've done Thinkorswim, but it's extremely confusing. Yes, go do wallstreetsurvivor.com. Wallstreetsurvivor.com. It's the easiest thing in the world. You can't mess it up if you try. So there you go. Also, go get yourself a Thinkorswim session with Thomas Wong. So email Thomas at reallifetrading.com. Shoot him an email and he will get you scheduled with a Thinkorswim walkthrough, TB, so that he can help you, because Thinkorswim is really, really easy. You got to have an expert help you with it. And Thomas is that expert. All right. So Walmart, again, if I'm going back to any other company, like we just talked about Microsoft, is Walmart going to go to zero in the next 5 years? No. The reason I keep asking that question is because this is a type of stock and a type of company where, let's say I was learning how to trade and I had $10,000 to my name and I wanted to put that $10,000 to work while I practiced my craft and while I learned from real life trading. Could I take all $10,000, put it into Walmart and simply hold it until it went higher? Yeah. Right? No stop needed. Just be in it, because Walmart's not going to go to zero. Buy it with enough time and you'll make money. And this is a good time because it is pulling back. It's on double bottom at the 100 simple moving average. So it's one of those where I would just go, okay, plop, I'm going to put my money in there and I'm going to go and study. Now, let's say Walmart goes from 146 up to 152, and you sell and you make $6 a share. Is that a pretty good win? Yeah, it's a really nice win. $6 a share. You made a few $100. You're easily able to pay for RLT for a few months. And then once you do that, right, you take your winning and then you go put it into, I don't know, Microsoft or Nvidia or AMD or Apple or Redfin or Workday or Visa or Amwell. And you take that money, you put it in there, and then you hold until it goes a little bit higher. Darian says, would you do Walmart over the queues of the SPY for a parking spot? Yes, only because it's cheaper. So, yeah, man. Michael says, Jeremy, if you have time, will you look at weekly chart on Ford? I will do my absolute best to do that for you right now. Weekly chart on Ford, big double bottom, massive volume, most boring company in the world. If you want to be in Ford, it's out of the resistance, buy the pullback at about 1050 and then wait. I do like the hammer on the daily chart. It is a hammer. So if it goes higher, best of luck. It's Ford. So don't expect anything awesome. Okay. Next on the list is AMD. And AMD has earnings right around the corner. I'm pretty bullish on AMD over earnings. I like AMD. I do have a put sale at 80 for February. I also have 300 shares on AMD with a $100 covered call expiring this Friday. I got paid $2 for that covered call expiring Friday. $2. That's amazing. So that means if I sell my shares, I'm actually going to sell my shares at $102. That's madness, right? And then, ladies and gentlemen, yes or no, if I sell my shares at 100 with a $2 premium, can I just rebuy them most likely less than $100 in February. Yeah, of course. Now, what if AMD gaps down on earnings and trades all the way down to 82? Will I be losing money at that time on my AMD position? Yes, I will, right? Now, if AMD closes below 80 on the third Friday in February, I'll buy some more shares of AMD at 80. Will that lower my dollar cost average? Yes or no? Yes, it will. Will I continue to hold on to my AMD until it goes higher? Yes or no? Yes, I will. If AMD then back in March trades back up to 96, could I get into another covered call? Again, lowering my dollar cost average. Yes or no? You guys see how this process works? Type a 4 into the chat pane. This type of analysis every day would help your trading. Every single day. Right? So if you're throwing in a 4, you know this is a place to be here. I'm here extremely frequently, and I would love to assist you in your trading. All right. So that's my analysis on AMD. I would love it if it gaps up and runs. I'm very bullish on AMD long term. They're doing awesome things with gaming cards and Nvidia cards and cryptocurrency mining and all kinds of fun stuff. Also, for my hammer fans, type a 7 if that's the greatest hammer that you've ever seen. Mike says, do you only do options for AMD? No, sir, Mike. I mentioned 190 seconds ago that I had 300 shares of AMD. But I am recording the session, so if you want to go back and listen to it at any point in time, you're more than welcome to. But yes, I am in shares and options on AMD. I trade AMD every single day, Mr. Teague. Every day. Day trade, swing trade, option sales, everything. Perfect hammer on AMD at 89. Guys, 89. 89. It went up to 95.69 in 4 days. Could you have bought 1,000 shares here, sold 1,000 shares there, and made $6,000 of profit in 4 days? Could you have done that? Yes. Now, did I do that one? Yes, I did. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. I did, of course. How can you not play that hammer? Come on. Come on. I have a trader saying, how do you decide if you need to go in with shares or options? Good question. It normally depends on your account size. Also, it depends on how expensive the stock is. If a stock is very, very expensive, I'll normally do options. If the stop is very wide, then I will do shares because usually I don't want to have too much risk exposure on the options. And normally I will trade options on the stock if I want to be in extremely long term and I want to accumulate it. And again, it's a little bit more of a pricey company. Otherwise, I'll just do shares. Mike says, sometimes you can do both. Yeah, of course. Why not? All right, next on the list, TPI Composites. This company is doing some cool things. Really nice trend. Very interesting candle pattern. What newer trader wants to take a stab in the dark and tell me what candlestick pattern that is right there? Wicked pair candle pattern. Yep. Inside candle pattern. Yep. That's also correct. So the overall trend on this one's bullish. It looks good. This is a monthly chart on TPI Composites, and it's just going straight up. Straight up. So in essence, you do want to buy some version of a pullback on this one. Also, since we're all learning together every day, type in a 4 into the chat pane if that was a perfect hammer on a monthly chart. Oh my goodness. Give me a break. That is so good. That is next level good. All right, so TPI Composites. Here's the weekly chart. Weekly chart, it's up there, team. This one is high. So for me, if I'm looking at buying it, I would like to play, I don't know, this retest gap. If I'm buying, that's where I want to buy the pullback, right about here. So there you go. Now, would this be one that I trade shares on? Yeah, I would trade shares on this if I was going to play it because it's not that expensive, realistically. $59 a share. It's not that bad. So you could play shares on this one. And I also don't know tons and tons and tons about the company. So I'd probably be one of those. I'm just going to be in and out type of a trade, just kind of move on, do our thing, and just rock and roll. Dan says, do you think it will fill the gap? It unquestionably will fill the gap. It just questions when. And my guess is before March. Serini says, when do you use the EMAs? The 100, 200, 10, 20, and 50. Very, very good question. And the answer is very simple. Use all 5, always. Yeah, that's the answer. So just use all 5 of them. So right now, if you practice long-term moving averages enough, you'll know that the 100 is down here and the 200 is down here. So is there really any real reason to look at them? Because I already know where they're at. They're very, very, very far away. So super far away. But if you want me to pull them up, I can. So here you go. All right. So they're down there. That's where they are. I have a trader saying, is the hammer with a bullish candle stronger than a bearish? I actually prefer a bearish hammer at support because that means more traders are going to be trapped if it goes higher. Adriana Jimenez says, what about Boeing? I will put Boeing on our list for Thursday. We'll check out Boeing. All right, cool team. So if you're playing TPI Composites, that's how you can play it. Apple. Whoo! Apple. So it's good for me to have the long-term moving averages up on Apple because type in a 6. If it pulled right down to the 100 something moving average and bounced like it was its job. Like it was its job. I mean, what? Now, type in a 76 into the chat pane. If you use Apple products all the time, everyone uses Apple products all the time. Okay, so if you're typing in a 76 and you haven't made some money on this run up, shame on you. It's really, really easy to play Apple. You buy it when it's low and then you hold it. That's it. Jeff says, I'm in leaps. Very cool. Yeah, so this one's beautiful. This one's very, very beautiful. Apple just had some gorgeous pullbacks. Now, right now, it's at the all-time high. Apple's never, ever, ever been higher than it is right now, ever. So is this the absolute best time to buy? No, not really. If you do buy, you don't want to buy a lot. So if I had to buy either $1,000 here or $10,000 of stock, which one would I buy? Yeah, I buy that one, right? If I'm going to buy one of the two, you want to buy smaller size when you're at all-time highs. Write that one down. You want to buy smaller size at all-time highs. Okay, because that doesn't mean you can't be in some at all, right? So if you're like, oh, I have FOMO, I'm scared. What if Apple keeps going? It's going to go to 158. Okay, cool. Then buy a little bit. If you're already in some, hold it. But if you are not, then you can be in small size and add more as it pulls back. Delfino says, do you use a scanner for your hammers? Of course. Absolutely. I have a class on exactly how to do that. That class is called Increase Your Net Worth in 2 hours per week. So if you want to check it out, go to your dashboard. If you want to get that scan, it is in that program right there. Yep. Cool. So that's Apple. That's the candle. That's the trends. Buy the dip. I love it. Apple's a company that's absolutely, unequivocally, without question, under no circumstances, will it not go higher in the next 5 or 6 months. Buy the dip. Be bullish. Apple's great. Strong company. Okay, next on the list is a really fun one. Redfin. Darian has a question. Do you recommend playing lower cost stocks with a larger share purchase opposed to higher share price with a smaller share purchase for smaller accounts? It depends on the person, Darian. It's a great question, but the way I would answer it is it doesn't matter. If you have really good risk size, you can trade anything the exact same way. Normally, the small companies, the toothpicks, those are the ones that will give you more anxiety, more stress, more gray hairs. And the larger companies are the ones that are safer because when you're trading a small account, you want safety. And when you're trading a humongous account, you want safety. But when you're in a very, very, very small account, you want it to grow safe, secure, protected for a few months as you learn and grow your bank account. Okay. Because when you have a small account, it's normally because of choice. Normally you go, well, this is all I want to put in here so that I can test it out, because you have more money. Everyone has more money to put into it. It's just fear. So if you trade and you grow that small account and you build confidence, and you can put more money into it and you can start growing a little bit more aggressively. So yeah, man, I normally say with smaller accounts, go for the big boys. Go for the largers, the huge ones, the no-brainer companies are going to go higher. Buy those, own those, sell those when they're higher. Like Apple, man. You could have bought Apple. I mean, anywhere in here, literally anywhere. Let's say this perfect hammer. Okay. You could have bought it at 125. It's at 142. That's a huge gain. $20 a share. $20 a share. And in fact, I'm sure you guys might remember this, but if you went into the trader psychology program for RLT, the one that I just came out with, I had a lady that I was working with, right? I had a semi whatever coaching session in that moment. And I told her, I was like, buy shares of Apple at $120 right now. So that's where Apple was. And I was like, just go ahead and buy it. Take your money, take $100,000, buy Apple at 120. Type in a 7 if you guys remember that. It's in the program. You're welcome to go back. I didn't edit it out. It's in there. So it's like, take if you have 100,000, take 100,000, buy Apple, let it go up, buy it at 120, and then just hold on to it for a bit. Right? That's amazing. I mean, she's up 20%. That's 20 grand in a month and a half from a free class. Come on, squad. The stock market is amazing. If you're sitting there like, oh, Jeremy, if this is so easy, why doesn't everyone do it? It's because not everyone knows, right? The stock market's only been around for 120 years. So there's only a limited amount of people that can help you and teach you and grow with you. And I want to be one of those people. I want to be one of those people that pour into your life and enrich your life every single day, week, and month. So Redfin, I love Redfin long-term. This is a company that I think is absolutely going to do massive real estate disruption, and it's already doing it. I was pumping that out really, really hard back in May, June, and July. And so there's a lot of real life traders that have made some good money on Redfin. By the way, look at this hammer on a weekly chart back in November. So again, if you're asking like, what's a perfect hammer? This 10 out of 10 would trade again. Look at that. And not only if that wasn't a layup enough, you got an inside week candle, a whole week of pressure building, a whole week of indecision. I mean, who doesn't want to get in that? Look at that breakout. Oh my. So Redfin, that's $45 a share, from 45 to 80. That's banana town. That is almost a 100% growth in a month and a half. Can you imagine? Wow, it's nuts. That's almost like Jacob Anderson making 100% on his account in Teladoc calls. I mean, just unbelievable. So anyway, candle looks good, chart looks good, trend looks good. I drew this wave back on January 14th, and Redfin, be long. It's a great candle. It's a phenomenal morning star reversal pattern. It's a very, very pretty trade. So either get in if it goes higher or buy it off the 10 and rock on. Mark says, if you sell a put option and have an account value, but not the cash value to be put to shares, what happens when exercised? Do your assets get liquidated? Yeah, and you get what's called margin called, and you get all your money taken from you. So don't do that, Mark. Great question, but don't do that. I have another trader says, I'm new at this. When you see the hammers, are you just getting in, or are you also researching the company to make sure that's good long-term as well? Very good question. My answer to that is do both. And I will absolutely trade just the pattern. I will look at the pattern, I'll see the pattern, and I will blindly trade the pattern all the time. Now, if I hear about the company, I notice the company, I see it somewhere, I'm driving down the road and I see signs that say house being sold by Redfin. And I'm like, what is Redfin? I go start doing some analysis on it. I pull it up. Oh, wow, this is interesting. They're literally taking away jobs of real estate agents. Because, I mean, think about it. Every single person in the world's a real estate agent, I think, at least here in America. So that's an industry that needs to be disrupted. And thinking through that, if I like the company and I research it and I love it and there's a hammer, can I buy more? And the answer is yes, right? That's normally what I do. So I will trade the pattern all day long. And then if I really, really love the company and I do a lot of analysis on it and I see it and I feel it and I understand it and I get it, I'll go harder. So for example, Fubo TV. I've done 90 minutes of research on this company. Fundamentally, I think it looks whatever. It looks vastly okay, sure. It's speculative. It's kind of cool. Something could happen. There's pros and cons. I get it. Okay. Some people like it. Some people hate it, whatever. But what I'll do is, can you still trade this with proper risk mitigation? The answer is yes. Absolutely. You can trade anything with good risk mitigation. If you had to choose a stock to put $100,000 into, Apple or Fubo, which one do you think I would choose? Apple. If I had to put in $4,000 into a company, would it be Fubo or Apple? Apple's going to win all across the board. Okay. Now, if I had $100,000 into Apple and I had an extra $4,000 laying over and I wanted to actively trade that $4,000, could I take $4,000 and put it into Fubo? Yeah, of course. Because now I have good risk mitigation. Now I can put my risk on, I can put my stops, all is fine, right? If it has a chart, it has a heart. I can trade anything. And we have a lot of traders who are making some serious money on Fubo TV because it had a one white soldier candle just a few days ago. Also, it had a perfect gap right here. That was a retest gap, and that retest gap retested. We gapped up, we pulled back. This is where you're buying. This is your reward, and congratulations. There's also tons of other strategies that it works right now with Fubo, Matt's 10 EMA strategy, and the Momo, which you guys are all familiar with. Momo went long on Fubo back on January 21st. The cool part is we had a few traders at the North Carolina Charlotte retreat buy Fubo TV right here at $33 a share, and they sold it today at $43 a share. How many points is that? That's 10 points, ladies and gentlemen. That's 10. Could you have bought 1,000 shares of Fubo with a stop right here and risked $3,000 to make $10,000? Could you have done that? Right? Same exact scenario I just mentioned. Could you have bought in 1,000 shares, had to stop at $3 away, risk 3,000 to make 10,000? Yeah, of course. Of course you could. That's what trading is about. Have risk and make sure your reward is more than that. So from here, I actually do like Fubo to go a little bit higher. It's a decent double bottom. It's a good volume expansion. You're closing above all of this bearish volume. And I could easily see Fubo doing this, 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 and then that. I think this can go back up to 55. So take that for what you want. I don't have any positions in Fubo personally, but it looks really good. Shift 4 payments. This is a weekly chart. This thing IPO'd and then just never stopped. IPO'd and never stopped. Serenity says, do you usually in and out the same day or do you hold overnight? I only am in and out the same day when I day trade. Mike Teague says, which one of your courses covers Momo? I will have one of my moderators send you the free video, Mike, that covers Momo. Chris says, have you done any research trading Chewy? Yes, sir. We trade Chewy all the time. I love Chewy. I'm very bullish on Chewy. Be bullish on Chewy. Buy Chewy. Own Chewy. Love Chewy. So yeah, shift 4 payments. I like the trends. I don't know tons about the company, but this volume is really, really intriguing to me. If I want a great spot to buy shift 4 payments, it'd be right here, 62.71. 62.71. So if you're looking at playing shift 4, buy the dip. The trends looks good. Type in a 9 into the chat pane if you can clearly see that it's bounced off the 50 EMA a few times. There. So I would look to see if it would pull back there again. So you could have a little bit at the 50 EMA and you could have the rest at the 100 simple, which is the blue line, which is at $59 a share. Buy the dip. Trend is bullish. Shift 4 payments. All right. Next on the list was 4-star group. Finance real estate development, $22 a share. Okay. So now you guys get to see what I do when I don't know what a company is. I immediately go to the monthly chart and see what it's doing. Is it up, down, or sideways? Sideways. One of the easiest things to do is buy a stock at resistance because it feels so good. Something that traders do all the time is they reach out to me and go, Jeremy, every time I buy, the stock goes down. Why? Because you're buying high, bro. You're buying when it's easy. You're buying when it's simple. You're buying when it's obvious. You're buying it when it's no fear at all. I'd rather buy when there's fear, when there's panic, when there's frustration, when people are upset, when people are scared. So saying all that to say, on 4-star, we're at a resistance right now. I would want this to trade sideways a little bit longer. And if I were absolutely going to trade it, if you said, Newsom, you have to take this trade, and if you do take the trade, you will get a year-long membership to Milkshakes R Us, and you will never gain weight if you eat all the milkshakes in the world. Then I would set up a trade like that, and I would just sell it up here when it made a new high, and that would be it. Kelvin says, I've heard Momo's strategy several times. Where do I find that strategy? So Kelvin, if you can just go in that chat pane and scroll up for me about 3 or 4 inches in the chat pane, you'll see where Matt posted that video of exactly what you're requesting. Or you can also scroll down below your comment and you will also see Momo's video posted as well. So my friend, Kelvin, it is in the chat pane. Let me know if you can't find it and I'll find a way to message it to you directly. All right, so 4-star, there's the trend. If you're going to be playing it, that's what I would do. Otherwise, I would just wait. Beyond the meat. Oh, man. Beyond meat. Now, the cool part is I have eaten a lot of Beyond Meat in the last month and a half because I was staying with 2 vegetarians. So I've been eating a lot of Beyond Meat. And I'll be honest, I almost have a 1-pack. So Beyond Meat, interesting looking candle, amazing volume, strong breakout. Mike says, is it any good? Yeah, bro, it's delicious. It is. It's great, man. I would, a blind taste test. I think that Beyond Meat would win 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 blind taste tests. Now, if you don't like it, that's cool. But I'm saying I think 8 out of 10 blind taste tests, people wouldn't know the difference. Merrick says, is that why that stock's breaking out? No, I just think it's breaking out because it's been trading sideways for a while. I have a trader saying, where would you get in on the retest? So very, very strong bullish white candle. I'm sure you've gone through my intermediate program, which is entirely free. Where would you play a giant bullish candle on a retracement? About 50% of that candle, which is about 150. So if you're looking for a pullback on Beyond Meat, pullback 1 could start right here at 151. And then your second entry could be at 145. I'd probably have a little bit on a pullback, something like that, and then expect it to go higher. This is a very, very good close. This is a lot of good volume. This is a very pretty breakout. It is above the long-term moving average on the daily. It is a double bottom on the weekly chart. I do absolutely think Beyond Meat will go higher. Feel free to buy a dip and play it however you want to play it. And if you don't want to, don't. Workday, ticker symbol WDAY, the most obvious, simplistic setup I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not exaggerating. Workday has pulled down to the 100 simple moving average and bounced with a high wave candle. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, trivia question. Did I buy Workday here? Yes or no? Yes, I did. Okay. Did I buy it here? Yes, I did. Did I do it a third time? Yep. What about here? Yeah. If it works once, do something twice. If it works twice, do something 3 times. If it does something 3 times, probably should try a 4th time. So I'm in workday. I think this is a double bottom retest. I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous high wave candle. And if workday breaks above here, I will expect it to go higher. I'm not saying it will. I'm just simply saying if. If workday breaks above 241.15, I think for a very high degree of probability, workday will go back up into the mid 260s. And my ultimate target on workday for this year in quarter 1 is 276.92. 276.92. Workday, very, very cool staffing agency. When I was on Necker Island a few weeks ago, I asked a lot of my staffing agency friends if this is a good company. They all loved it. And so I got a lot of them in on Workday back at 217. So they're all happy as well. Stone Cold Steve Austin, ST&E. I love, love, love this pullback on Stone Co. This is wonderful. One of the most bearish stocks in the whole market today. Donna says, if you buy calls, does your account have to have enough to cover the stock if executed? No, ma'am. You never, ever, ever have to take ownership of a stock if you buy your call options. You can actually buy and sell options whenever you want. Great question. So Stone Co. Limited, I do like this trend. Actually, I love the trend. I really like the company. I made tens of thousands of dollars on Stoco from July into October, and I'm looking at repeating that. So I'll be keeping an eye on this one for sure. I would really like a pullback to 70. If we can get that, fantastic. Although today could be a day to start legging in very, very small size. It pulled down to the 50 EMA, and that is pretty brilliant. Chris says, after you do your scan of hammers and you come up with a lot of stocks that meet your plan, how many do you normally take? I normally take about 7 or 8. Next question. Some of the participants are not using all the panelists and participants. That is correct. I don't know why that is, but you are absolutely right. So anyway, Stoco Limited, I want more of a pullback. What I'm going to do is put this on the list for for Thursday, just to kind of come back to it and check it out. So that's ST&E. Next on the list is Inseego. Inseego is muy en fuego. This thing is crashing. What a chart. Let's go look at this weekly. Yeah, man, this thing has been really putting in work. Really putting in work. Big resistance at 26.28. We're getting pretty close to that. So this is a 5G play. A lot of people have been asking about 5G plays, and this is one of them. I like it. I like the chart. I like the trend. I like the direction. I like the gaps. I like the company. I don't have any positions in this one, but if you're looking at having a position, $17, $18 would be a great spot to buy a dip on INSG. All right, only 3 left. Visa, Hammer of Thor on Visa. Now, again, Visa does have earnings around the corner, but if you're playing an obvious long-term blue chip stock, could you be playing Visa? And the answer is yes, right? It's a great hammer, great location, great volume, great everything. It's Visa. So yes, it could go lower, and it very well might on earnings. But if it doesn't, that's fine. If it does, cool. Probably buy a little bit more into the 170s or 150s. But Visa during COVID went down to 150. Do you think people are spending more or spending less on their credit cards? Answer, more. So Visa, great hammer. Long is strong by the dip. Amwell, AMWL, this was one of the stocks I was pumping the hardest at the real life trading Charlotte retreat. So for those of you who are at the Charlotte retreat, type in a 6 if you remember me talking in depth on Monday, last Monday, 1 week ago about buying American Well. All right, so there's Ross, there's Lee, Mike, you were not there. Matt is typing in a 6. Sammy says, I was not there, but I'm in deep. Nice. Yeah, American Well. Now, I have been talking about this stock a lot. We've been setting up trades on the stock a lot. Tabitha is definitely in this because she's been buying some shares and accumulating it. Jonathan Wade says, Amwell was my December 100 share challenge. I like it. This is a great company, team. I really, really like what they're doing, and I love this candle. So if you're not in on American Well, I think we could set up a pullback on this one, and we could absolutely do it officially. And then I'll look at one other stock and I'll send you guys on your way. So this will be the setup on Amwell. We'll see if it triggers. I'm already in some shares. I did sell some shares today to lock in some profits in one account, but that's a beautiful, beautiful trade. Oh my goodness. New official swing trade on Amwell. This is also just a gorgeous breakout. I mean, if you're not already in, that's okay. I have been talking about this stock literally nonstop for the last 3 or 4 months, really ever since it IPO and ever since Thomas told me about it. Back in September, we played it. We played the stock a ton of times. It's been a lot of fun. All right. Official swing trade, J boom, 25, 2021, AMWL. We're trying to buy a pullback at 31.13, and our stop loss is 28.01. And I'm going to be doing shares on this one. I think it's a great trade based on, I'll technically put it on Momo so that Matt gets the credit if it goes good, and that's pretty good. Craig says, Amwell is up 53% for me. Is my holding muscle too tight? Nope, you're doing good, man. You're doing good. I think it's going to go to 40. I think it's going to go to 40. All right. And last on the list, Overstock, OSTK. Joseph Smith III says, I made 2 R's off of Amwell today. Congratulations. Oh, man. Well done, brother. Well done. Overstock. This was a trade that I set up and we talked about back on January 5th is the last time I analyzed Overstock. The entry was 50.97 with a stop at 43.72. Got triggered in on January 11th. The low was 50.76 and Overstock is gapping up to $76 a share. So congratulations for those in Overstock. This was a perfect Morningstar reversal. We talked about this one again, literally 2 weeks ago when this pattern came in. And when that pattern came in, this was the exact analysis that we did. Buying it off the 200 simple, buying it off the high wave candle, buy low, sell high, good risk reward. Brilliant. So this is a very, very good gap. I will be in the day trading room tomorrow, leading the team to success. And this is one of the stocks that I'll be looking at tomorrow morning. So Tuesday, Overstock looks really pretty. I'll be watching that for a day trade. And we'll be keeping an eye on that for another swing trade. Because again, we already did play it back in early January. Most of you who are in are already in. And I'll come back to that one later, probably on Friday, just to see what it did for a swing trade. We'll see if we can actually trade it as a swing trade. But that's pretty much what I got on Overstock. All right, sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the stocks that were already requested into this, and I will tell you those what they are. So tomorrow we're gonna look at CCJ. We're gonna look at Caterpillar, Uniswap. Interesting. Okay, so that's a cryptocurrency. ATHA, pharmaceutical. INO, pharmaceutical. NEO, Tesla. Google, Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, Square. Also going to look at QS, Seagate. We're going to look at Waste Management. We're going to look at WM. Going to look at AMD again. We're going to look at, give me 3 seconds. Let me just scroll this down. We're going to look at Open, OPEN, AARY, Redfin, and Virgin Galactic, First Solar, since we're in some swing trades on those. Perfect, team. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much. Welcome to the free week at Real Life Trading, and I will see you all later. And until next time, love life, and trade it. Bye.